What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. And today the Jets, they just wrapped up preseason game number 2 where they beat the Edmonton Oilers by the score of 5-0. Played Edmonton in the first game. Obviously, these are two separate groups playing on a back-to-back. The Jets played their first group yesterday, and now they're playing group number 2. So let's take a look at the lines that played today for Winnipeg. Gabriel Vilardi, obviously, the big news today is he's making his Jets debut here in the preseason with Mark Scheifele and Kyle Connor. The big piece coming back from the Pierre-Luc Dubois trade. The second line tonight, probably going to be the fourth line once the season starts. Barron, Kupati, and Nemestikov. I'll talk about those two lines a lot later on. And then you've got guys that are, fighting for Moose spots and, in the case of David Gustafsson, an NHL spot as he's fighting with Kupati for that fourth line role. He's alongside Parker Ford and Jeffrey Viel. And then on the fourth line, you've got Daniel Torgerson, Chaz Lucius, and Christian Reichel. Probably going to be a line on the Moose to start the year, I'd imagine. Lucius, I expect him to have a pretty big year with the Moose as long as he can stay healthy. Torgerson, we'll see if his game can keep developing. And then we go to the defensive side. Josh Morrissey with really intriguing prospect Elias Salomonsson. I will be talking a ton about him later, don't you worry. Sandberg and Pionk, which is a duo that I hope stays together. Sandberg, I think, is poised to take the next step, and then Stanley and Capobianco just trying to cling to a roster spot here. And then you've got Laurent Brossoit in goal today. The game would start and the Jets would waste no time, and neither would Gabe Vilardi making an impression as he would feed Kyle Connor on the power play. Gorgeous goal, by the way. Morrissey sends it down to Scheifele here, makes a beautiful backhand pass, and bang, Kyle Connor opens the scoring. You gotta love it. Gabe Vilardi did start, kind of slow at times, but he was definitely making an impact out there. He just needs to kind of figure out how to play with these guys right. Of course, Scheifele and Connor have been playing with each other for a while, so it's not surprising that Vilardi looked a little out of place sometimes, but nonetheless, he was very impactful, and I think once that line starts to play a little bit more, and as they play more games together in the preseason here, I think that he will have no problem getting comfortable with those guys, and I think that could be a very fun line. I don't see why that line can't work. So the Jets now up 2-0. Not a whole lot to talk about in the second period, I'm going to be honest. It was 1-0 at the end of the first. Some things I want to touch on, though. Jeffrey Viel is just, I know he's not going to be a Jet. I hope not anyway. I don't think tonight did him any favors, but, he took way too many penalties. He took 2 already. Not the kind of impression that you want to make on the team. At the end of the day, he is just, a bigger body, and I think he's there more or less to protect the kids in the AHL as, guys like Chaz Lucius, Danny Zhilkin, Nikita Chibrikov, those kind of guys are going to be down with the Moose. So he will be the protector, if you will, but didn't have a very good game, I would say. However, on the flip side, Elias Salomonsson played an incredible game. Second round pick, barely 19 years old. This man is a monster, and in 2 to 3 years, don't be surprised if he's in the Jets' top 4. He's a right-handed shot defenseman. Jets have a ton of lefties. He's probably not going to make the lineup this year. I'd be, totally jaw dropped if that is to be the case, right? He is going to go back to the SHL. He's going to be playing premium minutes there against real men. He's going to be playing in a pro league, and I think that'll be great for his development. Last year, he didn't get to play in the World Juniors because he got hurt. This year, he will be in the World Juniors, and he will undoubtedly be on the top pairing for, Team Sweden. So I'm really excited to see what he can do, but he just looks so poised tonight. Was such a smooth skater. Nothing, just butter out there. He's very calm. He doesn't panic, and I just love Elias Salomonsson. And out of nowhere, just really become one of the Jets' best prospects on the defense. And I'm really hoping to see more of him. I hope he gets to play at least a few more preseason games because he was a lot of fun to watch today. Really enjoyed him. Now, moving on into the third period, this is where stuff finally started to happen as Vlad Nemestikov takes the puck up the ice. He flips it back to Neil Pionk, and Neil Pionk blasts one home. And just like that, it's 2-0 Winnipeg. Really like Nemestikov and that fourth line today, just going to the net, causing havoc. Rasmus Kupati had a really nice couple of times going to the net. Really liked him, and I think, he kind of made a statement today saying that David Gustafsson and company are going to have to do everything in their power to not allow him to be the fourth line center because he looked good today. He drew a penalty pretty much on the first shift I think he had, just crashing the net, making guys, chase, getting sticks in the hands. I love it. Kupari's a guy that is mean, he's physical, he's hard to play against, so I really like him. I think that he has a bright future here in Winnipeg, and I think that he could finally break out, right? He was a first-round pick. I don't see why he can't, in the bottom 6 this season. Later on in the third, Jets still up 2-0. Veal flips it actually up to Logan Stanley here. Stanley's going to just flutter one on goal. And guess who? David Gustafsson, who we were talking about earlier, scores. That one going from, pad level as it kind of drops here to right up over the shoulder of Calvin Pickard. And the Jets, just like that, are up 3-0. Really like David Gustafsson in this game. He needs to do a lot to catch Rasmus Kupati, but I still think that he's a very good player. Just needs to keep that offense going, and I think that once he hits that next level, he can be a really good, fourth liner for this Jets team. Later on here in the third period, Jets up 3-0 still. Morrissey sends it over to Barron, and he scores. That fourth line doing some more. They look so good. I really like the chemistry that I've seen from Barron, Nemestikov, and Kupati. These guys are going to be hard to play against during the season, and having 4 lines, very important. The Jets haven't necessarily had, a good 4 lines in quite a long time, so if that line can be, just extra offense and contributing at I don't know, at a consistent rate, if Adam Lowry can find his scoring touch too in the third line, hey, Jets are in good shape. They'll be making some noise for sure, but I really like the fourth line today. They played great. Excited to see them in the regular season, assuming that they stay together. And to cap it all off, see what I did there? It's going to be Kyle Capobianco putting one home on the power play. What a shot, by the way. Good God. 5-0 Winnipeg, and that's how this game would end. Laurent Brossoit coming back to the Winnipeg Jets, and in his debut, obviously it's preseason, he posts a shutout. So good for him. 26 of 26, I believe, was the final for him, stopping all 26 of the Oilers shots. The Oilers did dress their D team tonight. It wasn't, a big, scary roster or anything, but the Jets took care of business there in the third. Took a little while to find their footing and to, really get in their heads, whatever. I don't know, not in their heads, so to say, but just, to start really playing and dominating them. But once they did, it was very clear who the better team was. Jets take this one by the score of 5-0. Overall, though, just like the first game that the Jets played, it did feel very preseason-y. Of course, this was a different group, so it was the first time for everybody getting back on the ice in an actual NHL game, so that was to be expected. Took a little while for Gabe Vilardi to look comfortable with Mark Scheifele and Kyle Connor, but once he did, I think it was pretty clear that, those guys could be very good fits down the line, as the season starts here, and I'm very excited to see where that goes. Even if he doesn't stay on that line, I think that, nonetheless, it is a lot of fun that they're trying him there. Guys that stood out to me, Elias Salamonson, again, looked really solid. I really like his future here as a Winnipeg Jet, so we'll see, how long he sticks around to camp. He will be back in Sweden, and I think that he's going to have a very good year there. Vlad Nemestikov, Morgan Barron, obviously on that fourth line, played great with Rasmus Kupati, as I talked about earlier, so excited to see what those guys look like when the season starts. I hope that can continue. But, we'll have to see what the groups look like next time in the preseason come Wednesday. That's the Jets' next preseason game. So we'll see if there's any line changes or anything that Rick Bowness wants to change or try. But I want to hear from you guys. Leave your comments down below. Who was the best player on the ice tonight? What was the best line for you guys in your opinion? And, just anything in general. Anything you want to say about tonight's game or the preseason. Love to hear from you guys. So leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Tons of Jets content is on its way as the season is approaching. And I can't wait to drop some of the stuff that I have in the works here. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Go Jets go. Bye-bye.